Hello there. Welcome to another talk. A podcast meditation. As you probably notice, I take my time when I'm doing these talks. When I first press, record, I'm just trying to take it all in, calm myself down. That's the most important thing. Calm yourself down first. Because in these talks, it's like I'm channeling or something. That's what's going on. I know that's going on because I'm receiving knowledge. You see, I'm receiving insight, understanding on things. It's but this happens to me in my daily life also. But today's talk is called Talk on My Rebirth-Spiritual Awakening. Now, when I say the word rebirth is used a lot, in terms of spiritual awakening, but they don't actually mean rebirth. They don't mean they're going back to when they were born. This was an experience that, and I've spoke about this before, and I'll continue to. When I first had the awakening, the unexpected spiritual awakening at the age of 24, I'm 34 now, so 10 years ago. When I first had it, I've said this before, I sat down and had enough of everything. And in that but there was so much willpower to it. It was like a willpower. It was like I just decided in that moment. And then, because I decided in that moment, I had a glimpse of myself in that moment, of myself in the future. And like an imagination of myself in the future. And then I knew everything was going to change. And then I went through this awakening. This unexpected spiritual awakening. Part of that awakening was an actual rebirth, and I mean literally. But first, that everything changed in a flash, and I knew someone was different. And then I started to receive thought forms. I started to receive these information, not voices, but it's your own thoughts, but it's coming from a higher power. And it was guiding me through the process, and I felt all different. And I mean, I took drugs when I was younger, but this was like some of the drugs I took, but stronger, far stronger. And I learned from it that you don't need MDMA to get MDMA. You've just got to tap into the source of all life, and then you'll get all the MDMA that you want, and infinitely more. Because that's basically this awakening was, the energy was, but anyway, as I was going through it, I was getting guided, and basically everything changed, and then the thought forms coming in was telling me that you are going through a rebirth, and that I was taken back to the womb and basically rebirthed from there. And I couldn't look at anyone in the eye anymore, like a little baby. Heart was beating fast. This newborn babies have that as well. And euphoria, energies, ecstasy, bliss, and that experience, and it lasted for 2 weeks, and it was to show me what I can have in the future. Also to show me what source is, and how, by me putting me through a rebirth, I get to see how a newborn child is manipulated after they get here. And so what's happening to me now is that energy that I felt is coming back. And over the years of healing, I just noticed little bits of it arising. Because that energy that I felt for 2 weeks was the core essence of who we are. And basically, when you are ascending, that energy that I'm talking about, that tantric core essence, is accessed after you've done many years of healing work. It's imagine an energy at the core of your stomach, your being, like light, pure divinity, pure infinite love. But the system is trying to coordinate reality so that you don't feel like that, you don't tap into that. Right? They want us completely delusional. They want us thinking that we're virtuous and sane when we're actually insane. And we're calling other people mad when we ourselves are mad. You see, it's all like they just mix everything up and manipulate things in such a way so that we're that insane that we think that we're sane. You see? But that was, the rebirthing experience, and it literally was a rebirth. And after that, I went through a healing. After that 2 weeks, I went through a healing thing. But that rebirth awakening was a very angelic experience. I felt like an angel at the time. That's how I felt. It was a scary experience, but there was a beauty attached to it. Also, there was fear attached to it because I didn't understand what was happening. You see, at the start, when I didn't know what it was, a spiritual awakening, it took me quite a while to work out what was going on. At the start, I didn't know. I didn't expect it. I didn't ask for a spiritual awakening. I didn't know why it was happening or what's going on. I didn't know just deciding enough was going to ignite this. You see? And these spiritual awakenings have been happening around, people say, 2012. And the people that have had the people talk about chosen ones. The chosen ones are those people that have had that kind of experiences that I'm talking about. It's those people that have had these, out of nowhere spiritual awakenings. They didn't even ask for anything. That's the chosen ones. They were put on the planet to do that. You see? And then when you ascend, as you awaken further, you realise that you're not actually chosen at all. That people that are calling themselves chosen aren't that ascended. Because once you ascend, you realise that there is no existence. Because all existence is basically is wholly based on stories and concepts and ideologies. It's basically like experiences, which are like dreams, and we label them and give them ideas and concepts and stories. It's all fantasy. You see? So, and that you're not special, you're not anything like that. And that there's no reason for any existence to be. Because nothingness has no reason to make anything arise. You see, there's no reason for it. And that's when you awake. That's further on in my awakening that came. Because of everything at some point has to come from absolutely non-existence. And non-existence has no reason to exist. It just is, There's not a reason for it. It's like a crazy random thing. It's like a fluke, but it's a miracle fluke. But within that is like a manifester, and suppose you could say that is God. But that power is with that manifester is what I was talking about earlier in the talk, that's the core essence, that's the life manifester, that's the tantric core essence of who you are. And in ascension, that's what you're becoming. That's what the twin flame thing is about as well. You know, they have this tantric energetic connection, and that's what we're returning to, who we truly are, which is nothing, but within that nothing is a force, right? There is a love there, you see, as well, and that is this tantric power is orgasmic, loving, and that is people call God, but there's no reason for it to be there. You see, there's no reason. And don't ask me anything, because another thing I learned in this awakening was that I don't actually know anything. But the problem when you start to realize that you don't know anything, that's when you'll start getting insights into things. You'll start to get shown things. Yeah, and that's what happened to not me. There is no me, but the character of me. Because Sean was just a fictional character and like a movie dream thing. And that I don't actually know anything. I don't know anything. So don't come to me for advice. Go within yourself. Apparently that's what Jesus Christ said when he was doing his talks. They said, "Where is this God?" And he said, "Within yourself. Look within." You see? So I'm not going to try and be any spiritual guru or motivational speaker or anything like that. No. I'm don't believe anything I say. I don't know anything. I don't know. Maybe enter into that I don't know like I'm doing, and maybe you'll tap into this thing. Inspiration or something. I don't know. I don't know anything. Because this experience is done that to me. It's made me realise that I don't know anything. So I don't try and say that I know anything, because I don't. And then when you're like that, that's when you let go. That's when you're letting go of this ego. You see, and it is a process, but it's not important. It's just an experience. It's just, but it's not a big deal. You see, I think what I'm saying is important in today's world, because a lot of people are thinking that everything's so important. It's not. Just because that peace is accessed when you let go of all that. You see. You can call it God's power, and I might talk about nothing or non-existence, but doesn't mean that I don't believe in God. God is the one infinity of all existence. But this power that manifests life, the tantric core, this power is within the nothing. It is the nothing. And that is life. And it just is for no reason. It doesn't have a reason. It just is. And I don't know. But I'm just going to leave it there. For latest updates, talks, news, research, and much, much more, please do visit my website. My talks are always located at the top of my homepage on my website. My website address is www.lovelightfamily.com. Thank you.